Do you want to do an introduction right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum. Thank you.
So, we were very tired and disheveled because...
it was
a long flight.
warm there. It was a long flight. We were happy to finally get there.
So we had yummy breakfast, and there's my yummy breakfast. And then we got on the boat. And this was like the main, what do you call it?
Sort of the grand staircase.
Yeah. So then we have the chorus line room, which is where they did all of their major, headliner shows.
The chairs were really squishy, and they sort of had you lounging back, so it wasn't like back supporty. They wanted all the old people to be really comfortable. Room was like at a premium, right?
Yeah.
And so it felt just like being on a submarine, because we've taken a few submarine tours.
Yeah, it was...
And everything's compacted together, not a lot of room. But you know what? We spent most of the time outside of the room, so that cute little room, that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was okay.
It did what we needed. A place to sleep and shower.
Right.
And store our stuff. And then
we're set sail. Those little boats in the water, they kept getting in our way, and so they would blow the giant air horn to get them out, to shoo them away. Sarah and I were standing right under one.
It scared us every time.
It rattled the fillings out of my teeth. It was incredible. But there were other ships that were going to the side of us, and they were like waving us off and saying, have a good time.
It was pretty cool. It was very windy, as you can see.
These pictures are fantastic. Hey, there's a guy.
You can even see my hair blowing in this picture.
Yeah.
And then we, just hanging out on the boat, eating our dinner. And we went to our first show, which was a comedian, I believe. Oh, look at us, cute kids.
I found her chin.
Then afterwards, we went over to the casino.
Right, so they've got a casino on board. And through this whole trip, they kept joking that the casino wasn't known as the casino. It was, what was it?
That if you want to go make a donation.
Yeah, it's the donation center. Yeah. We went into the casino, and I didn't have plans to make a full go of it. I just popped a 20 into this machine, hit max bet, and it went ding, 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 and the number just kept going up. And Sarah and I were looking at each other. What? So yeah, basically I made out with $100.
Yeah.
So that's pretty great.
See? There it is. And then, this is our hall. We walked this hall many times every day.
Yeah. I like looking at that hall.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And then we just wandered around the boat that evening after, the swimming pools were closed down and the hot tubs were closed down, and so everybody was inside, and we were just kind of wandering around outside. It was nice. Yeah. It was still very warm. And, you get hungry, as you do at midnight.
Man.
So you go eat some pizza.
Nearly 24-hour free buffet-style pizza.
Yeah.
A dream come true to anybody who's hungry.
Like me. And then, we had some pool time the next day.
Stereotypical, just party atmosphere. Everybody was happy all the time. It was really fun.
Really fun.
Played music. It was good. Felt like we were on MTV.
Yeah. While we were out there, they did a belly flop contest.
That was rad.
So we've got these guys all jumping into the pool. This guy in the gray shirt is from Utah. And then this was Matt's favorite guy.
So I don't know if you saw, he was in the background of every one of the belly flop pictures.
Yeah.
Just look to the forward and to the right just barely, and this dude is sitting there with his hilarious hat and his delightful belly, and he made the cruise. He made it for me.
And then there they are doing their belly flop, and then, this guy won.
Oh, yeah.
So then they do, I know those of you who've been on cruises, that they do these little towel animals every day. That's our captain. And
was he from Finland? He's from Finland, right?
I think so, yeah. So then Parade of Nations with all their flags. This was our one and only, we thought there were going to be two, but it was our one and only fancy night.
So we stood by the two fancy
restaurants.
The Moonlight and the Starlight.
and I don't know what that is.
She's nice.
And then there's our formal picture. We actually bought that one.
Yeah. So
it's gonna hang on our wall.
There were like, I swear, like 9 different stations where they had like this preset backdrop, professional photographer, and they would just grab people, pull them in, and tell them to do a bunch of different poses. Mm-hmm. They told me I was the president.
Next day was our first port day into Cozumel. That's our beautiful boat. And then we took this Windjet ferry from Cozumel to the mainland, which is where we then went off into the city and then got on a bus and went to
Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza.
Oh man, the Mayan temples. Oh man, unrelenting heat.
Yeah, it was so hot.
There was no shade, and like there was no foliage on the ground. Mm-hmm. So the heat would just hit the ground, heat it up, and just reflect it back. So you're getting it from both sides. Unrelenting heat.
This is still a live archaeological site. So they're still doing digging, and they found the foundation for the main Chichen Itza temple.
Right.
That's what that is.
So it's like it goes out to what would you say, like right where I'm standing?
I think so.
There's like a giant square all around the temple.
All around it as the foundation.
That it sits on. It's amazing, because you just look at the temple, it's like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, but nope, there's a temple inside the temple. And then those hollowed out 3 window or doorways that you can see at the top of the stairs. We stood directly in front of that as a group, and we clapped 3 times in a row, and then in groups of 3. So clap, 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 clap. And the echo that came back sounded like a bird call.
Right.
It was like a high-pitched bird call, and they said that was supposed to mimic the sound of the quetzal.
Will you please?
No.
Why not?
Because
just try it.
Because I can't. You
Here we go.
do it.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a clap.
I'm not gonna do it. We're moving on.
No.
Here we go.
Okay, I'll do it. It sounded so you'd clap, and then you would hear, like it would come back. It seemed like it was the same sound, higher pitched, and 5 copies of it laid over itself. So you'd hit, and it would go coming back to you.
Coming back, yeah.
It
was really cool. This is the warrior temple with the 1,000 columns around it, which was really only 100 and something columns, but they called it the 1,000 columns.
Right.
And at the top, you can kind of see in the middle there, that's a jaguar statue, which is like their guardian animal. With the snake heads coming out on either side of the stairs, that's another guardian animal for them.
Right, so when the Spanish came in, they're all about like the Bible and stuff.
Right, and
so,
the serpent is the devil.
Right, so they saw serpents everywhere. They were like, smash them up!
Yeah, they destroyed, like when they came in and destroyed all of their god and guardian statues because it all had serpents in them.
Right, anyway. But the Mayans liked it.
Yep. And then you can see all of the carvings in. So this is limestone, and it was carved with obsidian. And these skulls.
Oh man, those skulls
are all different shaped because they did what we now call infant mutilation, but they would put straps or straps with a rock in it on their foreheads, and it shaped their skulls, and so each of the skulls looks slightly different.
Okay, am I remembering this right? So what you're seeing now is a giant basketball court, and it's, I guess, thought to be the first basketball ever. Modern basketball is based on this game. You've got 2 giant walls. There's a field between them. There are 2 hoops, but they're turned on their sides, so you're kind of staring down through it. The ball that they would use was it rubber?
Mm-hmm. Well, he said it was made out of a rubber-like material.
Right, because they didn't have like vulcanized rubber or anything back then. The point was to get it through the hoop, just like modern basketball. You couldn't use your hands like you're seeing me do here. You had to use like your shoulder, your elbow. You can kick it.
You can, yeah.
And that hoop was a good.
I mean, you can see it's
25 feet up.
Yeah, it's way high up there, and the hoop and the hole is really, really tiny. So the games would last for a long, long time.
Right. So as we all know, the Mayans really love to sacrifice their people. And, the tour guide asked of us, do you think people were cool with that? Did they volunteer? And they sure did. They thought it was an honor to get sacrificed. The captain of the winning team would be sacrificed.
But yeah, it really was such a hot day, and we got back on the bus, and we were just like just sun tired, because we didn't even walk around that far, but it was just so hot. Look how sad we are. We got back to our room, and we had a swan on our bed, and then the next day we went and swam with dolphins. Yay! So while we were this lady next to me, her name was Angie, and she went on this experience with us. And you do certain hand motions or body language, which would trigger it's the training for the dolphins. It would trigger them to do stuff. So with Matt, you can see he gets to hug the dolphin, and then I'm dancing with the dolphin.
Isn't that incredible?
And then you do this little kissy face.
And he didn't even eat me.
No, she gave you a kiss on the cheek.
Oh.
And then, you like the stance Matt's making, and they jump up and touch. And they stay there for a while. So then this is the motion that you do for the kissing. And they come right up to you, and you can plant your lips right on them, and they stay there.
It's amazing to me that they can spot you doing that from under the water.
Right.
And just know what to do.
And do it. So then Matt does the motion for the dancing, and this dolphin kept dancing in closer and closer and closer until they were hugging again. It was the sweetest thing.
Oh my gosh. Angie and Sarah, like, the noises out of your mouth.
We lost it. It was so cute. It was so cute.
I'll never forget that day.
Yeah, it was so special.
Oh my gosh.
But we were standing just on a platform. We weren't having to, tread water or anything. So you can see the stairs there going down underneath that little hut. There's a platform in the water that we were standing on to do all this stuff. It was really cool. Had some lunch. Enjoyed our beautiful Mexican dinner, lunch, Mexican cuisine.
It was super
really
good.
Lovely. And ate some churros out of a little churro cart. And then so this was right next to the pool, and across the pool was another restaurant where they were doing the
luchadors.
Yeah, luchador wrestling.
Yeah. So the masked guys, they just started up, and people started clapping and enjoying themselves.
Yeah,
and
it was really fun.
I was munching on a churro.
Yeah. And there was another restaurant area that had live parrots just chilling on a tree.
It was quite exotic.
It
was lovely. Hey, look at the crossroads here.
Go to Miami or Cuba.
We'll show you the way.
So then, we made our way after we were out in the sun for a long, long time, and then made our way back to the boat and had dinner.
Yeah, the escargot. I was surprised to find out it wasn't bad. Lovely.
Except that it was bad, because how many hours later?
I wake up at 1:30 in the morning and puke my guts out for the next 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, woke up and he was okay.
Yeah, I finally collapsed at 4 a.m. and then we woke up, 6:30 or 7 to go get some breakfast, and everything was fine. I was amazed. Had a great time in Belize, as you will see.
Yes. And we had a frog in our room.
This was fun.
Marriage. This was a lot of fun. They had a newlywed couple, a couple that had been together for 25 years, and then the longest married couple on board. They were celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary.
Right. So good spread. So if you turn a banana over, it's easier to open from the quote unquote bottom. You can just pinch it and pull. And I did so, and the banana disappeared. I was expecting a banana between the two peels, and there was no banana there. And so I looked into each peel, and lo and behold, I had split a banana directly in half. And there it was, sitting in each peel.
What a feat.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we are in Belize. We dock there at the port, and get on another bus. So then, just some photos as we travel to the jungle. We're going through Belize City, and there's this amazing cemetery that's got a road going through it, and you'll see that graves are all above ground, and of course it's like
New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah, where they just get a lot of flooding, and so they do a lot of burying above ground. So y'all know the story of Jack and the Beanstalk.
Right.
Where did the giant fall, guys? He fell in Belize. I know it's hard to see because you're just looking at it and I can't like point at it, but if you look close, kind of on the going from right to left, you'll see a nose and a chin and then a neck and torso, and then at the end you've got kind of little nubby feet.
Yeah, so there he is.
So there he is. There's the giant.
Some Belizean jungle.
Belizean jungle. And more jungle. And then this was the last photo I was able to get of us just in the jungle, because then we locked all of our stuff up in a locker because we were going to be doing some adventuring. And one of those adventures was to zipline.
Woo! That was our first of 3.
So
Ziplining was really fun. Going through the jungles. We were told to look for monkeys.
yeah, little howler monkeys, but we
were having so much fun, we forgot.
We forgot to look for the monkeys. And then our second was jungle buggies, which we were able to take turns driving through some jungle trails. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we could go pretty quick. We all went in a line, but there was enough space that we could drive pretty fast.
Yeah. And then the third one we didn't get any photos of, unfortunately, but we floated along a river that goes through some caves under the mountains, that what they call mountains, what we would call hills here.
Right. So in Belize, they talked about these mountains are hundreds of feet high.
Right.
And everybody went, ooh. And they also talked about how really, really, really cold the rivers were that were going through these caves.
Right.
And they didn't even call it cold because they wanted to make us comfortable. And they said they are delightfully refreshing.
Right.
And we all laughed. And I'm getting ready for this delightfully refreshing, super cold river. And we get in, and it was the most tepid, nice.
It was like
it was almost warm.
Yeah, it was like a cool pool water, like an unheated pool in the summertime.
Right.
Anyway, so then of course having to take the bus ride back into Belize City, and as we did, Matt got some photos of what the city actually looks like, so you can see, like, I don't know what you picture when you picture Belize, but it's a very poor country.
Yeah, they're a developing nation.
They are a developing nation.
Yeah, they said in all of Belize, they have 8 streetlights. 8 traffic lights.
And only 5 of them that work.
And of them, like, only 4 work.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got back to our room and found a bear, and this was my favorite one, and it was the one that Matt destroyed the fastest.
I picked him up and his head fell off.
He was so cute. Leaving Belize, we had to follow the trench back out to the ocean, and we had to go a lot slower because there's coral reef all along the side of the country. That's the second largest coral reef in the world, and so they obviously, to keep it intact, to not destroy it, we have to follow a trench and go really slow. And I was super cozy. It was a long day. The next day, we decided that we were gonna get a massage. Neither of us had ever done a stone massage, so that's what we did.
One thing I'm sad about is they never did what's pictured when you see a stone massage advertisement. The lady laying down, and she has 6 stones going down either side of her spine.
Right.
They never did that. What they did was they would take the hot stone in the palm of their hand and then use that to rub you with. And it was still super nice.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. Very relaxing.
Yeah, I had a good time.
So this was just one of the cruising days, so we didn't have a lot. There's not a lot to show you. But they had Boogie Wonderland going on, which was a fun show.
An ode to 70s music.
Right. And this is our cruise director, who's a really funny guy.
Yeah. Lots of great energy. I love that guy.
He's great. And then just a lot of really pretty photos of Matt taking photos of... Just kidding. Just one photo of Matt taking a photo of this beautiful sunset.
Yeah. Look how pretty that is.
With the sombrero on top of the sun.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. And our aardvark.
Aw.
Then later that evening, a storm started to come in. What was really cool is that our captain was able to just skirt it. He stayed right next to it without going through it. We barely got any rain on the boat at all.
And you know what? A little bit of a disappointment for me because I wanted some rough weather. I wanted to really get out in there and have a story to tell. But no, the captain was good at his job.
How dare he? I'm very glad that we missed it. Thank you very much. We played a game, crazy game one night. And so in our group, we had to find the tallest and the shortest guy, and then they had them dancing together and then made them like freeze. Right. So this is like their freeze moment in their dance. Anyway. And then another one was, you had to dress up the meanest looking guy in your group as a pretty lady.
Yep.
So women were like taking off sweaters and had I don't know how they had like I don't know if they were like sitting in the back naked or what, but like there were skirts being thrown up and like bras and scarves. Now
a caveat here: they did say adults only.
This was not a child friendly. Like this was an adults only game. Anyway, we got into Key West, and our first stop, of course, was Kermit's.
Oh man!
For some Key West key lime pie.
Now this was my main thing I needed to do in Key West. Obviously, was to get some key lime pie. Everything else was just icing. And
it was quite delicious.
Yeah, they were dedicated to key lime.
We came back. We wandered the store for a while and sampled a bunch of their wares and came back later and...
Key lime cookies, key lime peanuts, key lime, which is just juice in a bottle.
Which is what I bought. Got Mom some key lime cold-pressed key lime oil.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so yeah, we did that later in the day because we didn't want to carry it all around. But so we went to this shipwreck museum.
Look how cool the outside is.
It was very cool. And we went to the top of that tower. So we'll show you some photos of that. But this is basically, and that is a very heavy silver bar. I barely picked it up.
Yeah, I think it was 60 pounds?
It's 64.
Does it say 60?
Yeah.
Okay, 64 pounds of silver. Yeah, and you can reach in and try to lift it, and it's really heavy.
Yeah.
In fact, it's 64 pounds.
Oh, yes, it is. Anyway, so as you're looking at some photos here, just kind of tell you about the shipwreckers. They basically were, like, quote-unquote good pirates. They'd go out and find the ships that had wrecked on their, as they're trying to navigate hurricanes through, basically through the Keys, through the Florida Keys and the Caribbean. And they'd rescue they'd try and rescue as much of the treasure as they could, and they'd bring it back and then sell it back to the captains of the ships at like 3 times the value of what they
They would sell their belongings back to them at 4 times the value.
It was kind of insane, but it was a business, and that's what they did.
Yeah. They showed us this insane map of all the different wrecks around the Keys.
Yeah, and it was, there's
hundreds,
so many.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
So many. Okay. So they're doing a drill. On the carnival boat, I think. Oh, that's not the carnival boat. That's our boat. Okay, well, anyway. Oh, yeah, that was the carnival boat. Okay. But then also, check out this bell.
Ahoy there! That's not working. Ah.
Oh my god.
Okay, I can do it. Ahoy there, that's not working. Oh. Yeah, you saw me!
Magoon.
After that, we kind of just started. We wanted to make our way down to the Hemingway house, and in the meantime, past the 0 mile marker.
Ah, yes.
This is pretty cool. And then, so there were so many chickens just wandering around Key West, and that's because when the Spanish came, they brought chickens with them. And they kind of just became wild animals on the island, and they are now a protected animal on the island, so you can't catch them and cook them.
Right. 500 years ago, the Spanish came and just like set their chickens loose, and they're full on wild.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It is. And then we found this really cool tree and had to take pictures of it.
Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway. So this was the house that he shared with his second wife, I believe.
Okay, so Ernest Hemingway, he was kind of a jerk. Kind of a gross, misogynistic, racist dude who was one of our most cherished writers. He married and divorced a lot. He married his first wife. She introduced him to her best friend. So he would cheat on his wife with the best friend. The wife found out, divorced him, and then a week later he would marry the best friend. Now he did this 3 times in a row.
Yeah, he had 4 wives.
Yeah, he had 4 wives,
and
like it happened the exact same way over and over and over again. Anyway, in his backyard, he had a boxing ring set up where he loved to box. He would put on exhibitions. His wife wasn't into it, and where did he go? What war did he leave to?
He went to, I think it was the Korean War.
Okay, so he left to the Korean War, and while he was gone, his wife had ripped out his beloved boxing ring in the backyard and put in a swimming pool for herself. And while that's, pretty mean to do, without consulting your significant other, it made it worse because just a foot below the dirt is just solid limestone. And it took manual labor to get it out because the city wouldn't allow her to blast with dynamite. So that swimming pool cost $20,000 for a pool that Ernest didn't even want. So he comes back from war, sees this pool that he has no use for whatsoever, and all of his use was for the boxing ring, reaches into his pocket, pulls out a penny, and flicks it in. That was his use. And that, to me, is the coolest story in the world. Coolest thing in the world. So, oh man, I just love thinking about that story.
So then she flings off her shoes, hikes up her dress, wades into the pool, picks up the penny, and puts it in the wet cement right in front of the little pool house. Mm-hmm. One of the pillars in front of the pool house. And she tells everyone that she took Ernest Hemingway for his last red cent.
Right.
So this is the penny.
And it's still there.
It's still there. They've covered it with
some sort of resin or something.
Yeah.
The story does not end there, however.
No, so she's still mad about it, and he wants her to get rid of it, and he thinks that he'll do something else to maybe help her get rid of it. He's got a buddy that owns one of the bars on the island, so he goes to help his friend move, and they've got a bunch of stuff that they're not going to be moving, and he says, "Hey, what's this? Do you need it? Are you taking it with you?" And his friend says, "Nah, you can have it if you really want it." So he takes it and puts it in his yard and has water running into it. His wife comes home and says, "What is this urinal doing in our backyard?"
He brought home a urinal and put it in the garden.
So that's what you're seeing there. And she says, "You get that thing out of here." And he says, "I'll get rid of mine when you get rid of yours."
Boom.
So instead, she takes some Spanish tiles and decorates the side of the urinal and puts the jug above it and turns it into a fountain, and it's still there.
The pull and the tug and pull of the relationships on this property, there were so many great stories. I just loved looking at both of these.
It was really funny. So then here you can see them both. The urinal's way on the right,
and then the pool is obviously on the left. Yeah. That's how close they were.
Hemingway was a major cat lover. He had 3 cats on the property while he lived there. They stayed there, and now there are 50 some odd cats, I believe, that live on the property. This was our tour guide. She was very spunky, had a lot of personality. One of the other cats that lives there. You can see the lighthouse next to it. It's literally across the street. It's the oldest standing lighthouse on the island. Wish me luck. And so we walked up all 88 steps and saw some pretty cool views from the top.
Yeah, you'll notice that there's no water around this lighthouse. That's because there used to be water. This used to be on the edge. Mm-hmm. And who was it? The Navy came in and expanded the island, if you can believe that. I don't even know what that entails. They bring in dirt and then more?
Yeah, I have no idea, but that's really what they did, and so this is all man-made. Right. So
they pushed the water out basically.
And there's the Hemingway house again. And just some more. Obviously you don't want to be in the top of a tower when there's a thunderstorm. And then our dinner table, which was always set like this when we came and sat down. You'd sit down and they'd put the napkin on your lap for you.
One of the guys on the table leaned forward and joked and said, "I don't know about you guys, but this isn't where I put my spoon."
Well, and why do you need to? But okay. Anyway, so then these are our dinner folks.
Yeah. It was a lovely way of recapping the day's adventures, because usually you'd have an excursion starting at 8:30 in the morning, come back to the ship by 4:30 or whatever, come to dinner, and we would just tell each other of our adventures. And these people were really interesting, super funny. That was the best time.
It really was. They were really just genuinely kind people. We had a great time with them.
So when we came in, Sarah's first reaction was, "Oh no, it fell down."
I didn't know what it was.
What is it? It fell over.
I was like, I think it got messed up.
I saw the spine and I went, "It's a stingray."
And then I felt dumb.
Oh man.
Okay, so then our beautiful last sunset, and then having to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye, little room.
Yeah.
Goodbye, staircase.
It was lovely, luxurious. There was always something to do. It was just one big fun adventure. Even though we said some of the entertainment on the ship wasn't that great, we were still having a good time.
It was a fun week.
Right.
We were never really bored.
Hope everybody gives it a shot sometime.
Yeah.
Because it really was amazing. Not so great for traveling, because you only get to spend mere
a few
hours at a destination. Still cool. You still get to see the places, but when I travel, I like to stay there for a solid week or 2 weeks, just to really soak it in. But what an adventure. What a delightful time we all had.
Yep.
So,
thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
get the bell on.
Yeah.